Yeah, my name is William Demke. I'm the grandfather of Alex Wallace.
What was your age during the 60s and 70s?
I graduated grammar school in 1960 itself, and I was 13 at the time. So I went into high school, and I finished high school in 1964. So I was 17. After I graduated from high school, I went to junior college
Where at?
in Chicago, and then I worked at the same time. But I really wasn't serious about college.
Mm-hmm.
I was more serious about hanging around with my friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this was coming up to 1966 area. And at that time, the Vietnam War was starting pretty good.
The U.S. sent a lot of troops to Vietnam, and people didn't really know why we were fighting. We were trying to stop the spreading of communism, but we lost so many people. It was a fruitless battle. We were fighting the communism in the north and trying to help the south.
The slogan of the U.S. in Vietnam was, "We're there to win hearts and minds." Well, you don't win hearts and minds by dropping bombs and killing people.
Yeah.
So most everybody was either being drafted or enlisted. And I chose to enlist in the Navy at that time.
Mm-hmm. So upon further research of the Vietnam draft, about 2/3 of the soldiers in Vietnam were enlisted soldiers, and 1/3 of them were actually drafted. This is a picture of my grandfather's submarine. It was called the USS Chopper, and he'll talk a little bit more about that right now.
When I finished there, then I went to my first submarine was in Key West, Florida. It was called the USS Chopper. Yeah, the first thing I did was when I joined, I went to school in Connecticut for submarine school.
So this school is called Basic Enlisted Submarine School in Connecticut, or an acronym for that would be BESS.
Directly after that, I went to San Diego, California for my job, which was a torpedo man.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so this naval base in San Diego is sometimes called the 32nd Street Naval Station, and it has 120 tenant commands and 50 ships there. How about the JFK assassination?
Yeah, that was the next year. That was 63. And the whole country was just shocked.
As one like myself could imagine, being in a time period where your own president is assassinated, I feel like everybody would be shocked. JFK was shot when he was 46 years old, and he was shot while going down the street in his car for a parade, and a sniper shot him.
The Cuban Missile Crisis came before that. That was in 62. In 1962, I was in high school, and the Chicago Tribune had headlines, "Missiles pointed at Chicago."
My grandpa also told me about how schools in the United States near large cities would teach their students how to do duck and cover drills just in case the event of a nuclear missile launching on the United States was happening.
You thought, it's finally time, it's going to happen, it's the end of the world. So the JFK assassination the next year, that was a significant event, but it was nothing like the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Do you remember the music that you listened to around that time?
Yeah, the music at that time in high school, the what they called folk music at that time, and that was like Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Joan Baez.
This folk music is something we've all heard before. This is a song by Peter, Paul, and Mary called "This Land Is Your Land," and it, it's like it's not quite rock, but it could be like some form of jazz, just rock.